Doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
I want to give each of you an opportunity to share a message from your own constituency about the level of collaboration or opportunities you'd like to see or you're already working on that you think would resonate with our colleagues from governments across the continent. We have a number of ministers in here, by the way, as we speak. And you're all welcome, Excellencies, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think early adoption of the international sustainability standard has a potential to unlock a much higher volume of investment into Africa, because Africa companies will become eligible for international investors, and we will also make sure we work on capacity building to get African companies' jurisdictions ready for their early adoption.
Fantastic, excellent.
I think the key thing that we as the International Energy Agency would like to see from all countries in Africa is for them to seize the opportunity to be part of the new energy economy. The energy transition is underway, and the continent of Africa has huge opportunities to play a very vital role in terms of contributing to that, in terms of having energy access, in terms of providing the fuels and opportunities that the rest of the world will need. There is a huge amount of opportunities there for new industries, for new jobs, and that's what we'd really like to see the continent capture. Thank you.
Thank you both. I won't say that accountants will save the world, and I think we just heard why, if an Africa can join the accountants in doing that. I think I would just call on you to build bridges between the issues that we're dealing with, climate and nature, so COP27 and COP15, between stakeholders, governments, private sector, civil society, and actually between the kind of partnerships that are needed, like the JET piece to advance. We need public, private, and civil society buy-in and participation to make this happen. But most importantly, I'd like to invite you on behalf of our informal leader in the European Earthshot to actually join us in the African-Europe Energy Earthshot, because we should and can have common opportunities and interest in doing this together and not go in separate ways. And we can innovate. Look at COVID and what the Western world was able to do and how much we failed to do it for the Global South. Let's not repeat that. Let's show up for this energy, food, and fertilizer and financial in solidarity. And we can do that by bringing people together in a different way, more human-based way, and be the leaders this moment calls for.
Thank you. I think from this conversation, two important points, the one you raised on leadership and the one on access. The AUD NEPA Energize Africa program is really focusing on answering the question, how do we bring the youths to participate in this just transition? Because this is really about them, about creating the opportunities for the young people. And so through this program, we really want to strengthen and have a fit-for-purpose public service performance. I think earlier in the panel, they spoke about model law. And we need to link these things, you know, these are not separate pieces of, but linking all of these things, all of the things we had the 3 hours or so, and make them relevant to ensure that we have an ecosystem that encourages young people to be part of this just transition. We heard about the access, you know, to capital. What do we have to do to make sure that young people do have access to capital? Our program on Energize Africa will be working with all member states to address these questions. Again, creating enabling environment for investors to come in. It will be working on that. Working with young people to have startups. Now, the startups need a comprehensive ecosystem that supports them. So it's not just about the capital access, but all the issues such as intellectual property rights that will make them viable participants in the markets. So through our Energize African program, we will be working with all member states to ensure that young people are part and parcel of this just transition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Estherine. Wonderful way to finish. I mean, when you consider that we are, 25% of the world's youth today, by the end of the century, to be 50% of the world's youth. An initiative like the Just Transition Investors Alliance, which is seeking to increase our access to global value chains and global supply chains from a current 2% to a double digit, it's really the youth that are going to drive this. It's the skills and the technology and the knowledge transfer, which we already know is the most productive form of both investment as well as domestic investment. So I think we've got a very positive time ahead. I think the extent to which we can all collaborate on making the Just Transition Investors Alliance a great success. Please tell us which jurisdictions or which areas or places within your countries or within your communities you think we should be looking at pilot projects, and we'd look at that very positively. So with that said, please join me in thanking our excellent and inspiring panelists, Jing Donghua, Christophe, Hala, and Estherine. Thank you very much.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.